and it blinked again just now. So it's back to normal.
Okay, I heard the tablet go ring a bling bling, so.
There we go. We are live.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's always a bad idea, but then again, nothing's stopping us. And those people, those lovely, lovely people giving us money to do this midweek show, probably wouldn't be very happy with us if we did let it stop us.
I don't know, man. Maybe if we, we quit doing it for a couple of weeks, they'll be like, oh, thank you. And just, out
Oh,
of,
finally, silence.
out of like generosity, of not being tortured on a weekly basis, they'll increase their pledge.
Yeah.
It'll be like protection money, man.
Please stop. Don't ever do it again. Here's more money. Stop.
Right, let's see. Doop doop. Hello.
Yes, we are. One sock. Finally. We had some typical Linux Gamecast issues before the show started.
Yeah, to put it very simply, I had a completely different way of doing something that we were going to experiment with before, and Pedro broke it all.
Yes, me. The one with crappy internet.
Genuinely, honestly, if I was looking to place blame, I could mental gymnastics this one on you, man, because it was that.
I mean, you don't really need all those mental gymnastics.
It was the 16 by 9
just the two of us
funkiness
here,
that went clonk, that froze everything. So I just spent the last 15 minutes setting it back up. You're not going to be able to tell much. You wouldn't have told much of a difference anyway. It would have just made life easier for us. But it's always good to experiment. Everything's on fire. It's great. So, welcome to
fine.
Wednesday. Yeah, right.
That dog will forever hold a special place in my heart. This is fine.
The 5 years of just fire that we've dealt with on our Saturday show, yep. it takes a lot to even get a Spock raise eyebrow from me. I'm just like, all right, Pedro, I'll call you back in a minute. I mean, there was no oh no.
Everything we've gone through for the Saturday night show, especially. Yeah, no. Slight hiccup because you were trying to force OBS to do something it was probably never meant to. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
With Steve Husband done.
I have an today. What?
Because he's Steve Husband.
Oh. Steve, buddy, I told you, quit having strokes when you're typing in your username.
Isn't that like a type of dyslexia that causes you to repeat like the last portion of a word as you're typing it out?
No, that's just annoying people.
I used to do that. Still do. Sometimes I catch myself doing it, but I learned to catch myself doing it and I stopped doing it, but it's while speaking. I finish a sentence and then I used to have this thing where I just repeat the last couple of words. Because I wasn't thinking about it. I was already thinking about everything else and it's like my muscles just repeated the last two words I said. It's like, why? Why?
Some people genuinely believe I have a hearing issue because I go, wait, what? What did you say? It's a reflex reaction that my brain bypasses, just like kicks straight out of my noise tube because it refuses to believe somebody just said something so cataclysmically stupid.
Mm-hmm. But that is in fact the thing that used to happen. Now I catch myself doing it.
Shows better be good because it's keep. No. That would be you that's doing that, Strider.
Satire con?
It's probably something French.
Does it have goat legs?
It's just mimes getting run over.
You know who put on a good show? Coming from you, Bagbo, I expect many things. Benito Mussolini. Yep, there we go.
I was about to say, do you want the list of things I'm not going to say in alphabetical order, or by first name or last name?
Yeah, that kind of went exactly where I expected it to. Although I wouldn't have gone for Mussolini. It's like Stalin, but sure.
All right.
9 Inch Nails. Have they put out anything since 2010?
Maybe. Wait, I mean, well, what's a difficulty multiplier on this? Do I get to Google it? Because I can tell you real quick.
No, I was just trying to think. Like off the top of my head, I can't really remember anything they've done recently.
Hmm.
Oh, apparently there's a new album this year. Okay.
Like on purpose?
Apparently.
This is a Trent Reznor song?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's very long.
Hesitation marks in 2013. Okay.
Oh, there was... Yeah, okay.
I've never had anything against 9 Inch Nails, but I absolutely can take it or leave it. Yeah.
It's just completely inconsequential for me, too.
I'll listen to it. I won't cut it off.
Yeah.
I know some of the lyrics.
And you can recognize the tropes because of that. This is a Trent Reznor song.
Creepy piano.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can dance to it.
Okay, do I have... Boop. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. I think we're good.
All right.
I'm going to go grab a quick drink.
Yes.
And
I'll hang around.
I saw the, hi, would you like to hear a UDP joke? Yes, I would like to hear a UDP
Yeah,
joke.
I saw your Twitter post.
To get to the other side, ... Why did the chicken cross the road? Question. All right. All right. That made me smile because I'm a ginormous dork.
It's that one and the one that's TCP. Applies specifically to the affected area.
Wow.
You spray affected area loosely, and if it doesn't work, spray some more.
That kind of looks like if Steve had really long hair and he was on like an 8,000 calorie a day diet. I could see that. All right, I'll be back.
Yep. So, chat realm. I still don't have a fixed internet connection. Go to your meeting, Rohit. I still don't have a fixed internet connection, and although I think tomorrow we might actually go to the pub again because they have nice internet and it's quiet in the afternoon. There's not too many people there, so might drop by again. I was saying that tomorrow I might go to the pub again because internet. Good internet.
Because you want to get online at that?
Yeah. And the Mir was saying that if I was ever to do an LGC or Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays from that pub, I'm pretty sure the people there would not like me afterwards, but sure, I should have a drinking competition with the locals. Considering it's been, well, I had a beer yesterday, just the one, But before that, it had been 2 weeks since the last time I'd had anything alcoholic to drink. My tolerance is not what it used to be anymore.
Oh man, I don't know if beer is capable of affecting me. I bet if I had, I would probably get wrecked off like 12 or 15 beers at this point because I haven't. I'm coming up on like 5 months without having anything to drink. So
Yeah, that was that one I drank was like a full pint of a local brew. So it had it had a bit of a punch to it, and when I got to the end, I felt it's not woozy, but you can feel this when you feel the alcohol starting to get to you. That feeling's just slight lightheadedness. That's where I was at from a single beer. That's bad.
I don't know. I always get. It's like, do you have a little beer, or just asking for some pub beer, which is about 2%?
No, that's proper beer. It's 5%. The one I had, well, proper.
I'm just saying, if I'm at a pub, that's what I get because I'm be at the pub for like 9 hours.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as drinking Miller Lite. If you know you're going to be drinking all day long, okay?
Well, we weren't going to be there like all day long. We were just there for a couple hours.
I assume you and Nori have different aspirations when you go to a pub.
I was just there to download all the things and answer all the emails and send emails to the new interesting games that I saw show up on Steam and check the local video store for things. Turbo Brad seems borking on Discord.
All right, Turbo Brad's borked. We don't control Turbo Brad. It's just a bot.
Yeah.
So
Unless the cache is full and you need to flush it.
$109. Yeah, Ryzen 3. I mean, if you're trying to build,
If you're trying to build something on a budget, get a Ryzen 3.
like a wicked budget, because on a budget, the R5s, it's like, that's not a bad deal. Say, but you can't play at a billion frames at 90K, and it's like, yeah, but sometimes
You're on a budget.
Right.
That's the thing. I built the Steam box for €400 with an Athlon X 4860K and a 750 Ti.
My entire budget for the new box of business is under five. Well, yeah, under 500. Well, right at $500. Let's not lie to the people. But
Well, let's see. When I have some money, the ideal is going to be like 100-ish for the motherboard.
Mhm.
Then probably 300, around 300 for the 1700. And whatever the cheapest 3200 megahertz RAM I can get at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah. But it's going to be around 400 and something, $500 at the very
Pounds,
least.
bucks.
Yeah. For just the motherboard, the processor, and the RAM.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The Mobo I'm looking at is always between like $98 and $108. You just got to catch it on a good day.
Yeah. Most of the B350 motherboards are around 100.
Yeah, right in there.
Yeah.
This one supports overclocking. Unfortunately, it's on the wish list. It has the blinky RGB black on it. That's just
Everything does nowadays.
I know. Hopefully, well, here's the thing, man. I'm going to be put it in a legitimate old school tower case with wheels on it. There no ventilation on site, so. But any light that leaks out, I'll just take some electric tape and just cover those little parts up so I can't see them. Did the same thing with my 980. And the Ryzen 1700s have basically stabilized at like 269, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So between that and that,
Because the craze now is coin mining, and you don't need a 1700 to coin mine. Ryzen 5, the 1400, plenty good.
Strider only cares about gaming. He doesn't do any actual work on his desktop.
Yeah.
So. You gotta understand, he's a Python developer, so he only cares about single-threaded performance.
It's the only thing that Broadwell processor of his still wins.
In his mind, whole CPUs only have one thread. That's not technically
He got a
true.
quad-core hyper-threaded that's 8 threads, and he only cares about the single-threaded performance.
All right, I need to move that monitor back to where it was, but I'm not because everything's working right now. Let's kick this thing in its face organ. Boop. Boop.
I started doing that thing you do with the show notes of copying it over to LibreOffice because, you know, not saving on the RAM. As is your case, I'm saving on the
Ping check-in
usage.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, is it up to date? Is the document up to date? How many people are currently looking at the document? Has anything else been changed? I'm Google.
That's great. I'm just going to start sitting back and waiting for you to log into GDocs and just start pasting GIFs. So many GIFs.
I'm not the one who usually fills the show note with pictures. I think I posted 2 this whole time.
I'm not the one that keeps track of shit like that.
I know, because I usually see Jordan when he's posting those pictures.
All right. Yeah, it's Cody Dragging Dude. If you've ever taken a look at our show notes, like in GDocs, that is,
Yeah.
it gets wild sometimes.
There was one Linux Gamecast Weekly where the show notes were just a conversation between Venn and Jordan. It was just pictures and GIFs the whole way through.
Hey, man. That's why I don't rail on the kids with the emojis and stuff like that. It's modern day hieroglyphs. I mean, that stuff worked, 3,700 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
it's the evolution of visual language, like it or not.
beats interpretive dance. All right, let's do this. How do we start this off again now?
Going green with OBS, Ubuntu 16.10.
Yep, coming up. Coming up, going green with OBS.
The Ubuntu 16.10 reaches end of life.
Firefox is falling, and it can't get up.
And Flash just doesn't die.
No, it doesn't. All right, let's go. And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays. That's right, time to sit back, relax, and listen to me and this fine young cannibal chat about
insanity.
Yeah, insanity and some of the interesting stories that we found this week. I'm Venn Stone, and that fine young cannibal is one Pedro Mateus. What's going on, man? What's up?
How you doing? Yeah, still in the UK, still actively looking for a job. If anyone out there watches the show and happens to be hiring or knows someone who is, let me know. My email is Pedro, Pedro, P-E-D-R-O, @linuxgamecast.com. It's easy enough. Just let me know.
It's kind of brilliant, man. I heard you found a pub with some Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's actually about a mile up the road. We didn't even know it was there. It's like, oh, that's a pub. Haymakers. Really nice place. Just spent a couple hours there yesterday, and the internet's really nice, too. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not 3G, LTE, whatever. So, yeah, it's nice.
Oh, why don't you just save a bunch of money and buy a couple of boxes of Ethernet cable?
Yeah, plug it all the way from here to there.
Just run it out, man. Drag it out. All right. Yep. So, what's been going on in the world of Linux this week, man?
in the world of Linux, it turns out that flat packs are still very much a thing, and if you if you've been paying attention, Jono Bacon actively recommended them for the universal whatever. What? How did he say it? It was like the unification, the standardization of the Linux desktop, and he recommended Flatpaks as the distribution method, package manager, whatever. And now there's a hub from OMG Ubuntu. They created the article says that there is now a hub for Flatpaks, and that's good. The PPA is available for Ubuntu. It's Alex Larson's PPA. You set it up, then you just do Flatpak remote -add, and everything else. The commands are there. It's easy enough, and there are already a couple of applications available for you to install. At least now there's a central-ish hub for Flatpaks to be gathered up and sent down to people. Which, if we're being serious about that, the whole redundant universal package management thing kind of needs to be something like this.
We need a little bit of something, a little bit of a taste. I agree completely that, the snap flat images, that's what I call them because everyone's at war right now.
Yeah.
they're all the craze, but tell you what, man, they got a long way to go before,
Really
at least on my Ubuntu LTS production box, a long way to go before they're going to replace PPAs. I mean,
yeah,
mainly because you're spoiled for choice with PPAs. If you want it, it's out there. Dependency resolution, you don't have to worry about it. Personally, I do believe that flat has the best chance of becoming the universal standard, but it'll never happen. It's never going to happen. I've been messing with Linux for over 2 decades. The greatest idea is like, why don't we do this thing? They're like, politics or something. Let's start screeching and all be divided.
Because raisins, yes.
Right. And, then we have the Ubuntu. Ubuntu's like, listen, all right, we kind of messed up with Mir doing that. Then the Unity. Yeah, people were just using it. We're done doing that. Oh, by the way, here's Snap.
Yeah, here's Snap packages. This one's for real, you guys.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Something we're going to be talking about Saturday is the Steam client is now available. It's Flatpak.
Yes. And SteamOS now supports Flatpaks as well.
That's going to be the thing. I mean, it's going to be some interesting years ahead to see who.
It's like as much as the Linux community as a whole, at least on the developer side, seems to hate unification. The Steam runtime and Steam as a little bit of software that runs in every single Linux distribution, that is the single point of unification, and that single point of unification just said, we support Flatpaks.
Yep.
That should tell you something.
We'll see. But something maybe not good, maybe actually it's always good progress. 1610. Ubuntu is to dead, and by to dead I mean it has reached EOL, or as you might know it, end of life. That's right. Amen. Because the 9-month support cycles is one of the reasons I personally run an LTS. What does this mean? Is everything on fire? No, but you should update because you're not going to be getting your security updates anymore. Where can you go? Where can you run? Well, if you don't want to hop distros and you want to do an upgrade, you can go to 1704, which I do need to remind you is also a non-LTS, so you'll be stuck in the same situation a couple of more months down the road. But, yeah, July 20th, so it's already passed. If you haven't done the upgrade, do it. Do it.
Yeah, 1704 has been out for a while, and if you're one of those people that for some reason likes to keep on the 6-month...
cross your fingers and hope it boots trade.
Yeah, basically pray that upgrade path is still working as reliably as Strider would like us to convince that it is.
But listen,
honestly,
man,
I've never
in
been
all
able
fairness, because I mean, I have to go on both sides. Okay, doing incremental upgrades. Let's say going from that to 1704 like that. Rarely you're going to run into problems. And admittedly, when I go from an LTS upgrade to an LTS upgrade, I clear a day. I fully expect I'm going to be fighting with if I had a nice long rant about going to the 1604 LTS.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, keep your systems up to date. I mean, you definitely want to keep them up to date because of the next story.
Security, yeah. Security, which is something that GNOME has had issues with in the past, but someone managed to find a very contrived way to get past all that GNOME security effort. Yep. So it's called Bad Taste. It's CVE 2017-11-42-1, and there's proof of concept code, and you can test it for yourself. It's really easy. Basically, it's an MSI file. An MSI, for those of you that don't know, it's a Microsoft installer file. That's like a setup file for Windows.
Okay, I thought it was a motherboard and/or video card.
No.
Okay.
And just there's an extension for Nautilus, which is now called GNOME Files. I learned that today. Which is called the GNOME exe thumbnailer. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to see the MSI, the exe, the DLL, the LNKs, what have yous, with the same icon that they would have on Windows. You know, that's a functionality. If you use Wine a lot, kind of expect that functionality because it looks neat. And, well, there was an issue with that because in parsing that MSI file with VB code, that's Visual Basic code, in the name of the file, basically the thumbnailer, instead of just picking the .ico file from inside the MSI, it ran it with Wine. That's bad. But admittedly, it's contrived.
No, Pedro, that's called integration, and that's why I'm terrified of anything that tries to do something that I don't tell it explicitly to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just, well, it's another Linux vulnerability caused by Windows. And if you want to be, this has been fixed. The newer version of GNOME exe thumbnailer, version 0.9.5, if I'm not mistaken, has fixed this. But if you want to be turbo safe and you don't care about exe thumbnails, just get rid of the GNOME exe thumbnailer altogether.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. I was reading through the article. It was a Softpedia thing. Well, this will be in our show notes. Don't worry about it. And the quote is, for successful exploitation of the vulnerability, an attacker can send a crafted Windows installer file with a malicious VB script code. And the only thing I thought is, like, isn't all VB script malicious? Just by principle alone, that's definitely a thing. But yeah, nothing I'm worried about. I use Thunar for the file manager, and I don't have Wine currently installed in the box because, yeah, I like to play my games native. So, we're going to make some people angry with our next story.
Oh, yes. But then again, I'm assuming Andreas Gall already made many people angry because you can actually scroll all the way down the article itself.
They're going to be angry because this is the former CTO of Mozilla, dude.
Yep. If, like, the article ends about a third of the way down of the scroll bar. Everything else is just comments. Yep. So you know what you're going in for at that point. But yeah, it's Andreas Gall. He wrote a post, and Firefox market share has been dipping consistently for a long, long time. There's the first graph that he shows there. It shows it hovering until around, let's see, January 2017. That's the first big dip happened around August 2016, and then it came back up. And then when 2017 started, it came down. It came down considerably. It was already in the negatives. If you look at the y-axis, that's minus percentage already. So it came down even more. So he explains how he got the data using the IEDs and ADIs and what have yous.
It was kind of interesting, and one of the points, well, until I did this thing didn't require registration and login to pull the data. He had to write his own script in order to continue doing that. I was like, that's definitely a thing. But here, the reasoning was, a lot of commenters. Why Firefox market share is falling off a cliff? I think that question can be best answered with a few screenshots. And so we're seeing going to Google Mail, and it says, get Google Chrome. Going to YouTube, it says, watch YouTube videos with Chrome. And to use Calendar offline, upgrade to Chrome.
It's very aggressive marketing. You got to give it to Google.
Here's the thing, though, man. I gave it the Pepsi challenge today. Goog's never told me to switch the browsers. Here's what went down. It wanted me to make Google.com my homepage.
It keeps telling you that if you're using Firefox, make this page your homepage.
And on Gmail, and I tried the YouTube. It said, "Hey, would you like to make Google your search engine?" But it never outright told, but hey, man, both of those are alphabet properties. They can do whatever the gosh darn heck they want. And listen, man, you know what? I'm a huge fan of all the work that's done by the Mozilla Foundation. But personally, man, I quit using Firefox as my daily driver quite some time ago. Yeah. And here's the thing, Brad. I mean, Firefox didn't lose because of Google. No. Nay, I say. They lost because Firefox. Ooh, can you hear those pitchforks getting sharpened? I can. Seriously, man, what went down? Firefox had become such a bloated pile of nope that a new browser, out of nowhere, with no plugin support, none, was able to drink its milkshake. That's what happened. That's the true story. It's not what's going on today. It's what went on like 6 or 7 years ago, man.
Around 2009, 2010, that's when it started to happen.
Do you know how hard it is to get a Windows user to use IE? To get off IE to go to another browser? Okay, multiply that times incomprehensible to get them to go from the other browser to another browser, and that's what they did.
Yeah. And let's be honest, Firefox was never really the mainstream, because the mainstream was still using Internet Explorer. That's what they were using. That's what most people used. It wasn't until Chrome came along, and this comes down to Google being, yes, they are very aggressive in their marketing, but they are very good at said aggressive marketing. And they managed to get people to stop using IE and use Chrome. Now, to be fair, yes, there were a lot of geeks and their families, inevitably, because they went, oh no, stop using IE, just use Firefox instead. I did that. A lot of people did that. But that's because Firefox was the darling of the geeks at the time. And the moment Chrome came along, oh, it's so much lighter. Oh, but it doesn't support extensions. All right, I'll stick with Firefox for a bit. Oh, Chrome now supports extensions. Now, to be fair, nowadays, I use Firefox mostly on my laptop. It's perfectly usable if you force enable multi-process so that you can use it with plugins, because it's still disabled if you have plugins installed. Mozilla, please, come on.
No, I mean, it's a thing. You use whatever you want. I mean, I do not participate in this tribe mentality, knuckle-dragging Neanderthal. You need to pick my camp or this other camp so we can argue. Let's die in a fire. Seriously, I don't care about that. You use what you want. I have Firefox open right now. I have Chromium open right now. I have Chrome open right now. I have Chrome Beta open right now. I also have Vivaldi open right now.
Well, I don't even have Chrome open right now. I just have Firefox and LibreOffice with the show notes.
Oh, yeah, I have LibreOffice open as well with the show notes. You use what you want. This is just telling a tale on what is and what is not. But then there are people who will argue with the actual graph and numbers in Firefox. But that's good. Competition is good.
Yes. Now Mozilla needs to find a way to recoup some of those geeks that it lost to Chrome.
And I don't think you can argue, Chrome coming out caused Firefox to get better.
Yes, it did. Very much so.
I don't think
especially in RAM. Chrome will numb all the RAM nowadays. Firefox, very, very light on the RAM usage.
Yeah. whatever works for you. I mean, long as it runs and you like it, that's great. So, but, here's something Mozilla, the foundation, Mozilla Corporation, booga booga, is doing that is kind of neat. Yeah, they want to hear your voice, man. Because Mozilla's crowdsourcing 10,000 hours of audio so anyone and everyone can use it to train and build their own voice apps. They want to take the voice sampling and where you can sit back and identify it and open that up for smaller indie developers and kind of get it out of the hands of the big major companies, Apple and Google and stuff like that. And the beautiful thing about this is, my voice is my password or whatever, however that went, I forgot. This does not require you to submit any personally identifiable data at all. If this is still open, and if I get some time this afternoon, I will kind of go through it and submit my voice. I think that's kind of the least I can do. I personally don't have a problem with that outside of voice commands. I don't like using voice commands all that. Okay. Okay, Google. That's usually my voice command.
That's the one, yeah.
But, I mean, 99... Okay, that's a lie. If you want some funny reading, because you can go back and look at your voice commands on the web, it's me screaming at Google, going, come on!
That's not what I said!
What the expletive deleted? Really? Question, and stuff like that. But it's, okay, Google, set a timer for. That is 90% of my use case. Outside of that, it's like, what's the weather like? Because I'm an old man, and I want to know, I don't want to get too hot while I'm out there yelling at clouds.
But yeah, it's honestly just the idea behind all of this, just getting people to give their voice to help companies that are not Google, that are not Microsoft, that are not, the big ones, from having a voice recognition system that's properly trained, that can recognize several different voices and can recognize variations in said voices. That's really important, and there isn't an open source for that at this point. And Mozilla is trying to do that with Common Voice. And
opening
just
it up,
that idea.
It samples a repository. Because could you imagine trying to teach voice recognition for Scottish?
Crossed a few. I think there's a Scottish family that lives down the street. If you're paying attention, you can easily understand them. It's just that if you just catch it, it's like, what was that?
I only say that because I love UNCUT. I had a nanny growing up that was Scottish, and some people know exactly what I'm talking about, completely indecipherable. I can understand that business, but then you have the multiple language. I didn't see. Is this for the English only? Or?
Yes. As far as I could tell from the Common Voice page, it seems to be in English for now. But there will be, probably in the future, there will be more options. Now, you don't have, you can actually help if you don't have a microphone or you don't want to use your microphone. You can actually help validate the donations of other people. There'll be a list. Can't remember exactly how to get to it, but there's a list of already submitted stuff that you get to listen to and see what people were saying, and you can validate that as, yes, that's what they're saying, or if there was a funny man or two or three that were just cussing out loud instead of reading the actual sentence, you can do that.
Well, I was about to say, I was just going to stand in here and cut the gain up on the mic in the middle of the room and just start screaming, "Can you hear me now?" Because, inside I'm a 12-year-old. Let's just face facts. Okay. Yeah. We've been talking about Ring since before the show existed, and guess what? Yeah. Point release 1.0. That means it's just like regular Ring, but now with more stable question mark, he asked?
Supposedly? I mean, the only question I have is, does it still do that completely unmutable voice loop with echo cancellation that left you constantly listening to what you were saying, what you yourself were saying all the time? Because that was annoying. That was really annoying.
I don't know, man. I mean, but what is it? You can make audio, video calls like that. It's got some good, if you've never heard about it. I mean, this stuff's straight up legit encrypted HD. It communicates over ISIP, TLS. It's got screen sharing, Ethereum blockchain, for decentralized public user database. I was like, that's overkill, and I love overkill. So GPL 3, it supports basically everything, and you can use parts of Ring for IoT type stuff. Yeah,
individually licensed all the different parts, so you can take them and use them separately instead of using the whole damn thing. It's good. That's good. But again, I am going to ask: have you fixed the echo cancellation issue, or at least let people disable echo cancellation? That would be nice.
That we might play around with it because we have tried basically everything but Skype.
Several times.
Right. And we keep coming back to it, and everyone's like, but have you tried X? And it's like, yes. So,
well, which time? This year or last year?
Right. Might give it another go. It might be something to look at, but that is a thing. Yeah. It's out, and I hope it keeps improving, man. I mean, we need some. What we have to do is start getting grandma on these services because, unfortunately, that is why Skype's a thing, because grandma's on it, or grandpa, however you want to do that business. And yeah, and we're using old Skype, which was not developed by Microsoft. Now we like using it. Hey, it's supposed to be dead now. It still works. Don't tell anyone.
Supposedly they killed the servers on July 1st. Hello.
All right.
Okay, so something that does not, in fact, need to get better. In fact, it needs to die. It needs to die in a fire, in oblivion. It's Adobe Flash. Yes, yesterday, Adobe announced that Flash would die officially on, on 2020. At some point in 2020, probably by the end of 2020, Adobe Flash will cease to be a thing. I believe it when I see it, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
There was a post from from TechCrunch. There was also a post from Chromium.org. You know, the people developing the open source bits behind the Chrome browser. And they say, oh, there's been an 80% decline in Flash usage. Yes, why do you still support Flash in Chromium again? Why? Stop it.
It's Stop reasons. It. I mean, you know, Cody in Chat Realm was like, yeah, it's pretty dead now. It's pretty dead, but Pedro has a point. Why is it still there in any capacity? You know, they have changed it to, it's like, man, this stuff's jank. You need to give us explicit permit. That doesn't slow down stupid. Stupid can blow right past that security check. Like, click, okay, done. You know, I'm kind of looking at it like this. So we're looking at 2020. So basically, at the end of the day, what we're looking at is 3 more years until they kill something that should have died 5 years ago. I mean, dead. Wicked dead. You know, and you know what? You know, it's like 2020. Yeah, right, Adobe will stop updating and distributing Flash. People still going to use it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone's going to come up with some weird hack around Chrome or Firefox or whatever browser.
They already have on Android, FlashFox.
Yeah, FlashFox. There was Dolphin, the Dolphin browser. There are a few. And Chrome, the desktop version of Chrome, still comes with Pepper Flash. Just let it die.
Whatever happened to, what was it, Nash?
Yeah, Nash, the GNU implementation of...
I never got to try that because I went to compile it one time and I looked it through the pin and I was like, nope.
I think I got it working once, but whenever I tried to play the YouTube video, it should tell you just how long ago that was. Mm-hmm. Whenever I tried to play a YouTube video with Nash, it would just crash. It would crash the entire browser, not just the plugin. So, yeah.
Well, I'm seeing mentions in chat that homestarrunner.com... okay. Here's my thing. Do you want to help web zones get off Flash? Quit visiting them. Send them an email. It's like, hey, man, I wouldn't know because I do most of my browsing with Chromium. And Chromium, like Machete don't text, Chromium don't flash.
Yeah, I went out of my way to disable Pepper Flash in Chrome because I don't want it.
And I do it on mobile, too, which doesn't have any Chrome. Yeah. But I think the important thing to say is I don't notice the issue because, what they've said in this article and Google with Chromebooks that HTML5 can basically do everything Flash could do 20 years ago.
Yep.
So, that's the thing. I don't think anyone's like, but no. Oh, what about Crunchyroll? Is it?
Yeah, the Crunchyroll was the last one I remember that still used Flash. Although I haven't been to Crunchyroll in years, so...
Yeah, I don't know if they do or not.
Any of our Weeaboo watchers, listeners, would care to chime in on that, let us know. Are they still using...
But I think you can add Crunchyroll to like Amazon Prime, or on Steam had some Crunchyroll stuff, didn't it?
Oh yeah, Steam has some Crunchyroll stuff. They actually made an agreement with Crunchyroll so you can watch anime on Steam, so you don't even need Flash for that.
Huh, all right. Yeah, Mir seems to say they use Flash. Okay,
they use Flash.
So, my apologies, but I made something that was borderline educational, which goes against everything we stand for. What did I do? 5 minutes in and out, set up and use one of these, which is poorly... I kind of do this to irritate people now that I've realized. It's like, you got shadows on it in your light. I only have one light on right now. To use a green screen with OBS in Linux, because that is what happened when I was looking up an instruction guide on how to do this, and the only one I could find was poorly recorded Ramble Fest. He was like, let me tell you about my dog. No! No! I'm here to learn about OBS. This is something I need like 3 clicks, and I'm fast forwarding trying to sort through the video. The one I made, you can 5 minutes in and out. You're done. You get the idea. I give you the tools. Go forth. Make awesome stuff. Fly through space with your cats. It will be amazing, and everyone will be happier for it. So that's the thing. If you'd like to support more instructional educational videos, Pedro, how can they do that?
Yes, you can do that a multitude of different ways. If you are looking at that article, keep on going to the support page on linuxgamecast.com, and you'll see that there's a Patreon campaign, there are some Amazon affiliate links, the ones that don't cost you anything, and we get a little teeny tiny bit off the top. There's an Amazon wish list, which if you do buy us something from there, you end up on the food wall.
Fine upstanding cannibals, man. We want to thank Mr. Red picked us up recently. This is a DisplayPort 1.2B to HDMI. It's still in box because we have not one but 2 people threatening to provide us with a Blackmagic capture card. And I'm still kind of waiting on the popcorn on the other end of that situation from the 2 separate people. So we'll see, or eventually, much later down the road. That's kind of like a closing out, honing everything on the wish list. Purchase, our main purchase, our biggest focus right now is to get the AMD 1700 Mobo. Hopefully, we're going to have the Wet Stinky Cache put together for that. Probably the next 2 or 3 weeks. Keeping our finger organs crossed on that. If you want to enable the cheat mode, hook us up. You end up on all incarnations of our FUC wall, even when we moved to Kansas and we put it up. But we do want to thank the patrons who this is a show for you. You make this show possible. It's brilliant. Thank you so much. And it's not just a one-way thing. We give you a lot of stuff back. Head over to patreon.com/LinuxGamecast. Get some of those show notes. Get access to our Discord channel where we hang out the other 6 days a week. Get access to an extra hour of content only for you with a customized RSS feed. Our pre super shows. But those PayPal and thanks everyone shopping through the affiliate links. Those add up. We got somebody on PayPal, man. Kicked us a little jingle, right?
Oh yes, Mr. Joseph Corson, thank you very much. Actually use the PayPal donato buttons. That's what they're there for. So yeah, thank you very much.
It's pretty awesome. Okay. Hey, every week we like to talk about little embedded things to help electrocute yourself, and this week is no exception.
Which may or may not involve some pie. Yes. So, this one will get you electrocuted. That's that's inevitable. This is the Smart Pi, and it's it's just an extension board add on to the Raspberry Pi that turns it into a smart energy meter.
Well, this is a whole kit, man.
Yeah, the whole kit. You get to see the very first picture on the top right of the article there. That's the kit that you get.
And
it's not
on page 2.
cheap.
I mean, yeah, right. I mean, you got a couple of things. You got like 4 inputs, voltage. Yeah, this is legit.
And they say that it supports up to 100 amps and 400 volts by default. But if you're feeling brave and 100 amps just ain't cutting it for you, you can push it up to 300 amps. At 400 volts, pretty sure you're just going to catch fire by looking at it wrong. But yeah, it's if you want to have, well, what would a Raspberry Pi add to an energy reader that you don't already get from regular old energy readers?
Wi-Fi, the ability to monitor it remotely, multiple inputs. Because, at 100...
less chances of getting electrocuted. Okay.
Oh, you wanted me to stop. I was going to keep going because that was such a silly question. 185 wet stinky caches for the kit, and there's a lot of kit to it. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of pricey, but we've covered something kind of a more homebrew version of this a couple of months back. We did this. Clip it on, hook it up, set it up. This is for like Maker Lite. You're gonna have to SSH into this critter, which most anyone listening to the show is like, oh, all right. You're gonna be able to do it. You'll be able to get it set up and monitor the things. I was looking at his chain here. He's like water heater off, and he's monitoring how many kilowatt hours he's doing dishwasher. I'm fine with that freezer. I'm like, man. Then it gets to the wine cooler. I'm like, really? All right. I thought I had a little McMansion. I don't have a wine cooler. Then the toaster. Then the washing machine. I want to know what type of washing machine he has, because that looks like my dryer, and my dryer is older than I am. It runs off of raw power and spite, and it does not pull that kind of load.
Yeah, I mean, old washing machines pushed up to what, 1,500 watts on the economic program?
I don't know. Most washing machines are 120, so I don't know, man. Maybe he's got a Beowulf cluster of washing machines.
I don't know.
Well,
let's get into the teeny tiny bit of, I guess this would be, or could be, considered the gaming bit of the week. Although it's not just for gaming.
This is build a killer Amiga emulator for 100 wet stinky caches. All right. You put a Raspberry Pi 3 in a custom case from Etsy and installed Ambien on it. I got it. I just saved you like 1, 2, 3, 4 pages.
Amibian, but yes. He actually has some recommendations for the hardware you should get, and he has some questionable recommendations for software that you'll need to use to, say, extract the Amibian ISO, to then use Win32 disk imager to write it to the SD card. Now, he actually actively recommends that you use WinRAR. WinRAR, really? With 7-zip being the actually free alternative on Windows, and supporting so many more formats. They're actively recommending WinRAR in 2017.
You know, in all fairness, I've aliased RAR and UNRAR to RAWR.
RAR.
RAR.
But yeah, no, outside of that, this is, he basically just got a 3D printed retro Amiga case.
Low res looking case too. I mean,
yeah, very low res. He says that you can get him from 40 and up. If I'm guessing he spent the 40 and he got that really crusty looking one. But yeah, some of those cases actually do look nice, and it's a neat project. If you had someone in your family, say their birthday is coming up, and you have a Raspberry Pi laying around and you don't know what to do with it, set it up. If that person used an Amiga, it's like, there you go. It's like your old computer.
It does talk about
a neat thing.
Overclocking it, which don't.
You're just trying to emulate an Amiga. Just stop.
It's
okay?
a Pi 3. It's what, minimum like 7 times more compute power than like an Amiga 4K, which
The Pi 0, yes. The Pi 3 is that times 8.
So yeah, listen. Overclock it though. I mean, overclock it for other reasons. Just don't use this as an excuse to. I wholly support overclocking and melting things. That's hobby.
That's just fun.
Right.
Unless you have, like me, you have a smoke detector up there.
As somebody who has a rental property, my first thought was like, take the battery. I was like, shut up, Ben. So yeah, don't. Leave them in because homeowners, rental insurance and all that, the premiums go up after that. Hey man, this has been a fun show, Pedro, but before we go, we probably want to check and see if anybody left us a bit of feedback, maybe.
Yes, indeed. And if you too would like to leave some feedback, you thought that we said something that was a lie, it was inaccurate, it was absolute pish-posh, you can let us know by going to linuxgamecast.com. You hit the contact button, make sure to pick LWDW from the little drop-downy thing. That's it. Fill out the rest of the form. It's pretty easy. Even the captcha is not all that hard, unless you're a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you are, you can also leave us just, you'll have to be really clever to get past that captcha.
You know who's really clever most of the time? It's really sad, too. Are people trying to sell us marketing services to increase
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We get those. Then some other company was trying to get us to pay $99 a month. It's like, your website has issues, and we have to fix it for you. And I haven't blown you up on Twitter yet. But do it again.
Oh, there are a few of those. I probably don't get as many as you do, but I get a few.
It's a thing. Okay, coming up first, Shane writes, oh man, about the OBS, Open Broadcaster Studio, which caused us to be 15 minutes late. Today, he's like, hey man, it's great to see the in-game mayor. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a full reboard of that L2 cache. It's great to see tutorials on Linux for software such as OBS. Can you please do a video showing how to compile software such as OBS from SAWS? Please, I've been trying to do it as I need to modify it for Nginx or Nginx or whatever.
Nginx.
That's what Pedro calls it, along with RTMP to work natively like on Windows. That was a YouTube comment that made it in. So I wrote back, but I just want to let everyone else know. Check the description. There's a link for Lutris and Linux Gamecast had sex, and we had a babby, and that babby was a script that will compile OBS within VNCode. And he's like, but I don't run a Debian-based system. If you're smart enough to be looking for a script, you can reverse engineer the script. Or
it's just a matter of
you know how to build software, right? You're just looking for what flags you need to throw it. That's basically
just
where you're at.
Replace the apt APTs or APT gets what have yous with yums, and you're probably going to have to find the equivalent of whatever for those development packages, or just comment out that entire bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then just have the makes and the git clones and everything else without the APTs. That should get you started. That said, I am kind of curious. What exactly are you trying to do with OBS, with Nginx and RTMP?
Anger leads to
I mean, I can sort of try and see that you're trying to set up like a streaming server. How?
Exactly. Strader points out, people don't want to adapt the script for other distros because he's not had any pull requests. Lazy is the word you're looking for.
Lazy, yeah.
But then again, I mean, if you're on a Debian-based system or anything, I need to see lazy. I'm guilty of that because for the better part of 7 months now, I'm like, okay, I'm going to move it over. I did, figured out all the dependencies for NVN code and I'll put all that together. Easy enough to make one for Fedora.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't done it. Cause lazy. I admit it. It's all my fault. Okay.
You don't really need it on Fedora, too.
You don't really. What you need is something. Well, you don't really need it on Ubuntu. On that PPA, they have now with NV.
They have NVENC enabled
Mm-hmm.
in the PPA?
Yep.
All right. I did not know that.
Where's your flying spaghetti monster now?
Well, let's just say I haven't been on the internet as much lately.
All right. Arthur writes in, last but also last, for our amusement, not related to any news, just have fun reading this. And it's about the Arch Linux mirror question.
Yes. Yes, that is the domain name in the thread name right there. Florian, one of the participants of the Arch Linux mailing list, says that he has received complaints about the domain name lolly.forsale used for your mirror. That's
I thought it was CIA loves to divide and conquer.er.
Oh, that's the one he suggests changing it to after the single most passive-aggressive, sarcastic comment I've probably ever seen outside of a Linus post.
All right.
He says, apparently not everybody shares your humor, and some people find the domain to be offensive. Consequently, this reflects badly on our image. Please switch the mirror to an alternative domain. I have removed the listings of the domain in question. I will add your mirror again once it uses an acceptable domain name. Really? Lolly.forsale is not acceptable for Arch Linux? Really?
Man, Linux and politics, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. I've been dealing with it for 20 years. I pulled Abe Simpson on this. I walked in, put my hat back on, and walked right back out the door. It's like, you kids have fun with that because you ultimately will end up accomplishing nothing and harming the project as a whole. Good luck on that.
Yeah, and Alucard, then he just like single most passive-aggressive rant I've ever read. And he actively suggests, would you keep a list of alternative domains not safe for work, but still mirrors for Arch? It's like genuine question. And one of the questions he does ask, which is I find very pertinent, is what does it take to remove all forms of free speech before it doesn't matter to anyone at all? So yeah, it's a little bit of a backhanded slap there, and then he just wraps it up with imagine if others were to host Arch, let's say on an open nick domain or an onion address. Would those get deemed not safe for work too? Maybe I'll register CIA loves to .divide and conk.er to make it more palatable. Sound good? Alucard.
I don't know, man. I mean, I realize that, yeah, we're getting along in advanced years because apparently I'm not up on my spicy memes because I don't know what I'm supposed to be offended about. I don't know what's really going on here, but somebody's offended. B, on top of that, I'm envious of whoever is offended because their life is going so swimmingly. So swimmingly.
They get to be offended about a lolly being
Nothing
for sale.
else is wrong in their life. They are living such a dream right now that this is the one thing that they got to put the eye of Sauron on and go, yeah, this is in the world right now. This needs the attention right here.
Yeah, and then one active maintainer of the mailing list decides to pull that from the mirror list. Just how thin is your skin?
Hey, man, Fifi's gonna Fifi. That's
yeah.
It might be. It's a little bit confusing. I think both Pedro and I, because we were kind of brought up in generation sticks and stones.
Basically.
Right. It's like, oh, somebody said something weird and offensive on the internet.
And
I mean, our first thought.
Shocking news. Guy reportedly still blue.
Yeah. And we're like, can you send me the link?
Yeah.
So, hey, man, that's the thing. And this has been another Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays. We always have a good time. We hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching the YouTube video, this is an audio podcast. We're doing somewhere between 500 and 800 downloads a week, which is not bad for something we've never advertised anywhere. But if you've listened this long, do us a favor and kind of share it around. The more the merrier, and we'll see how many people new to Linux we can kind of get in and trick them, and we move them over to the gaming episode, and then next thing you know, they'll be running Arch 2. But if you want to talk to me, I'm at Vinstone on the Twitter nets. Just type in Vinstone in Google. As Pedro knows, I show up.
Yeah, he does. He is the entire first page. On my case, if you type Pedro into Google, I am the, well, My Twitter account is the second result now for some reason. I'm actually the first result in the Google image search. That's actually my picture. It's the LinkedIn picture.
The main
Again,
main
you
main
wanna get
picture
me a
for
job.
me when you search for Venn Stone's Jordan Svang pointing.
Yeah. And yeah, it's at unaccounted for. That's FOUR on Twitter. It's also pretty easy to find. Scream at me there. I might scream back at you. Or on Google Plus. That's plus Pedro Mateos. Google.com/plus Pedro Mateos. Pretty
Alright.
easy.
Thanks again, beautiful party people, for supporting this, and we'll be back soon. But now, time for some credits.
Yeah.
Boom.
Look at all those lovely people who give us money. Look at them.
There's money to support the show. Well, I mean, hey man, we're lucky that people are like, all right, go spread some Linux.
Yeah. I use Arch. No, you don't even need to tell those people to go spread Linux. It's like, what's your favorite color? I use Arch Linux, but I think my favorite color is like mauve.
You don't know what you're talking about. I've installed 6 Linux.
That one where with the dude just using the last urinal, and then another dude comes to the urinal right next to him and says, I use Arch Linux.
You mean the one I made?
Yeah, that one.
Boom, and credits. So, hang on, let's stop the recordings. Click. Click. Strider was cute. Strider was like, you made that? It's like, yes, of course I made that. Which was kind of surreal when I saw it reposted by somebody, like on Reddit, and I was like, aw, that's cute. You made that.
RHL is always hiring in Washington, D.C. Yes, in Washington, D.C. That's neat. But, yeah, I need something. Either they allow me to work remotely, which, I mean, they're RHL, they probably would. Although I would have to probably fork over money for that RHL certification at some point. Money I can't really afford to right now, because rent, not cheap.
All my certifications and clearances and all that stuff's way expired, son.
Yeah. Rohit, how did you get that I already had a job from the Last Linux Gamecast Weekly?
Can't blame
No,
me.
no.
I mean, you were actually on that one, so.
Yeah, that's how it was. But no, I'm still actively looking, and I've been getting a lot of calls from either recruitment companies or actual companies that have open positions, and for some reason they happen to look at my CV in one of the websites out there. And yeah, supposedly I'm waiting for a confirmation email so we can set up an interview for a company in Peterborough, which is a 1 hour and a half train ride from here to there. But I'll take it. If I can't find anything closer, I'll freaking take it.
Yeah, especially on the job hunt. But
Yeah.
an hour commute, I mean, that's in the territory, hour and a half. Like, yeah, that's a bit of a bitch. Oh, hide your kids. This is the after show. See, I said it early. Cover up your sensitive ears because words offend you. Hang on. Boop. And boop. So we do that. And I'm just putting up the after shows and thingy.
You see, Maddie, the thing was I was supposed to have a job. But the company that I was going to work for, they were also hiring my cousin. And she doesn't work with them anymore. She found a better job working PR for a different company. And that, basically, my application, everything else, they just kind of forgot about me. Because I haven't heard anything from them since.
Yeah, because your cousin bailed on him.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, let's hire some more from that line of family. All right, I'll be back. I need to grab a drink and cut the AC back on.
Yeah.
We'll hang out for about 10 or 15 minutes before we bail on you lot.
Yeah, I'm actively looking for anything that I can do remotely. I'm up for it. They don't mind hiring a Portuguese person currently living in the UK. That's fine. I'll have fixed internet at some point next week, hopefully. Next week? No, the week after that. Not next week, the one after that, yeah. Yeah, it will be a while. Yeah, thanks, darling. I don't. I don't have any certs. I think I finished the tests for several of them. I did a network one, the A plus certification. I did the test for that. I did the test for the Red Hat certification. I did the test for the Linux sysadmin certification. I did all of those tests, but I never paid for any of them, so I don't have the certs. It's like they give you the option of taking it for free and then seeing whether or not you want the cert. Yeah, and I did that. I just never really paid for them because, honestly, yes, I have secondary education. I have a master's degree in electronics and telecommunications engineering. Well, Portuguese master's degree for whatever that's worth. Yeah, but no actual certifications outside of the master's degree.
Derp.
Yep.
Secondary education? What?
Yeah. Josh was asking if I had secondary education.
Hell no, he can barely tie his shoes.
Let's see, in UK terms, because I had to learn the UK equivalent of the Portuguese secondary grades, I have a GCE of BBC. If you live in the UK, you probably know what that means. If not, you have no idea because I didn't either.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Josh. I appreciate it, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Doop, 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 doop. Go away, Audacity. Come back, Audacity. All right, let's do some hyper-advanced audio editing.
I am not drunk at all, Strider. Again, I had that beer yesterday. That was the only bit of booze I've had in almost 3 weeks.
That's funny coming from Strider. Strider's drunk right now at work.
Coming from Strider, wouldn't put it past him.
He's the only person I've ever met that had wine in his flask. All right.
Yeah. Right now, just if I get that that job in Peterborough, it's nice. The first 3 months are contract. I only get 12 pounds an hour, something like that. But then when I get permanent, I get to, well, I get a reevaluation of salary.
Oh hell yeah, $12.50.
No, at least from what they said, it's a bit more, like 18.
Well, you know, I know, what is it, Labor's trying to get the minimum wage raised to 12 quid and something an hour.
Right now, for over 25-year-olds, if you're over 25, the minimum wage is, I think it's £9 an hour. Or 10. It's less than 10. It's 9 point something. Yeah, which comparative, let's look at Portugal. Portugal, minimum wage is €2.50 per hour. So yeah, no, that's fine. That's great. It's a shame you're in the UK. I'm looking at a dozen job openings in Marathon, USA you qualify for. Yeah, yeah. But the US, maybe in the future. I kind of set my own goal of at least being here for like 4 years, 5 years.
If you move to the States, I'm moving back to Britain.
That's fair. Wouldn't really want to live close to you anyway. Uh, unless we get to that 10,000 a week Patreon goal, then we kind of have to. But yeah, no. Maybe I'll move to the States. Maybe not. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I just want a job. That's it.
The Max desktop, but what is this, like the spiritual successor to Afterstep?
No, it's that one we called about. That one we talked about.
I remember talking about it. I just don't remember anything about it. That's.
I realized a couple of days ago that I still have it installed for some reason. Until Brexit kicks me out, at least. If the political agreement with Portugal holds, they won't kick me out. And
you're right, Rohit. I did back myself. I just checked. There's only Kansas, Missouri. I was kind of hoping there were more towns and places with Kansas in it.
If they did kick me out, it would have to be... Let's see, I moved in 2017, 2022. Is when they can kick me out regardless of Brexit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Although, if I do happen to find a job and things start going better than they have been for the past 2 and something weeks. Yeah. Maybe I'll stay, maybe I won't, I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
Yes, turnover. Foxconn is going to build a factory in Wisconsin.
Amazon has jobs you can do remotely.
Yeah, man. Sign up for Mechanical Turk. Pedro, you need to learn about our beer money.
I do not know what that is.
You might want to make a note if you want to make some residual income.
Mm-hmm.
If you have more time, maybe if you could automate some of this. I like reading it because I'm always fascinated by how some people have like set up Android phone farms. And they're like, yeah, man, I'm making like $4 a day. And I'm like, how does that even balance out with your power bill?
Yeah.
Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie got us the Mad High Power Supply. That and the memory, massive helps on building a new box of business, because that's going to cut my cost. Where once me and the IRS agree that I gave them too much money and they would like to give it back to me, picking up the R7 1700 and the Mobo will be well within that $500 range.
It's the RAM that's the most expensive nowadays.
Unfortunately, oh man, Frank's got choir practice on Wednesdays, man. He's not here with the sign, so I don't have the list. It wasn't Michael. I think Michael got us the camera. It was,
yeah.
Who got us the memory? Curses. You know what? I'm going to find out, because if you took the time to go to Amazon, and that RAM was not cheap, son. Let's see, last week's show, videos.
Look.
Alright, this is very confusing. Play, you stupid thing. John M.
John M.
John M. picked up the memory, and Mr. Red picked us up the HDMI cable and DisplayPort.
Mm.
That's Frank, everyone, if you don't watch our Saturday show. Like I said, he can't be here with us right now. But.
Yeah, RAM and, well, Flash in general is very expensive right now.
I don't know, man. The memory companies right now, I don't think you're going to be seeing the prices come back down because most of the memory manufacturers, they're making plans 10 years out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're running a corporation here, multi-million dollar corporations. They don't think about tomorrow. They think about next decade. So they are absolutely getting ready to rock and roll with crosspoint and crosspoint variants. That's what they're gearing up to do, and they are going to. It's going to be they want to be the one that makes it, because then you end up with what happened with hard drive HDD manufacturers after that flood. They tried to keep the prices way too high, even after they got capacity back. And when they were doing that, they weren't really planning on the SSDs like dropping as quickly as they did. Once they hit parity, they're like, uh-oh. I have a .com account. What? I don't even know what's going on, man.
MTurk, Amazon.
Hmm.
Apparently, they asked for a .com account. Strider had one. What he didn't have was a credit history. I don't have a credit history either. I never had a credit card in my life.
I got spooky credit, man. Like, when it sets in, it's like, yeah, I could buy a new car with that. I'm like, what the hell's going on? When did I adult? At what point?
I mean, yeah, I just don't have a credit history because I never had credit in my life. So, yeah.
I was told having crippling credit debt was part of my American dream, which I haven't really participated in. If like the angriest I've probably ever been was buying this house, buying it, not taking out house loan, whatever those are called.
Mm-hmm.
Mortgages, that's the word.
Well, the mortgage is after you get the house and you sell it back to the bank.
No, the mortgage is when you get approved to get a loan for the house. That's your mortgage.
Oh, okay. So they go. Yeah, okay. It's just called different things because mortgage, the Portuguese word for mortgage, is used for when you say you need money, you mortgage your house, sell it back to the bank, you get the money, and then you have to keep paying for the bank not to take your.
Okay, that's in the developed world. That's called collateral.
Collateral. Okay.
That's definitely a thing. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, America, everyone likes to buy things on credit. I know a lot of people don't. But yeah, it's like credit this, credit that. I mean, they just try to make it rain credit on you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a business credit card. I have a Discovery card. I have my Amazon Rewards card. All right, I like that. I use that thing all the time. It gets paid off, though.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Red, 250 gigabyte, the Samsung 750 EVO, the one that was supposed to be an OEM drive, you can get that for like $60. 250 gigs. It's like 17 cents a gig. It's pretty good.
What's that?
The 750 EVO, 250 gig or 240 gig. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pick up a SSD.
Like $60.
Yeah, non-NVMe. Yeah, for well under $100. Pretty decent one, too.
Yep. Yeah, I got that 251 for the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
When I bought it, it's like, yeah, 60 euros for 250 gigs on a 750 EVO. Yeah, good.
I mean, it's real. As long as you got some decent bandwidth, I mean, you can get away with 120 gig.
Yeah, as long as you're not getting one of those crappy queue depth performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, everyone that I know that has had an SSD nope on them, it's been the controller.
That was what nope my OCZ.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I've not known anyone who's like, oh man, this drive died because of writes. And trust me, if there was anyone outside of like an enterprise application that was going to kill some SSDs, this guy.
Yeah. Video production. Yeah.
Video production, recording, yeah, especially 2 shows a week.
Yep.
Plus Thursdays, Fridays when I have to download Jordan's live stream and fix it.
Let's see. Even like those old OCZ drives, the flash was rated for 1.5 or 1.6 petabytes. That was I bought those SSDs in 2011, 2012, around there somewhere. So yeah, they live. That one lived, well, the other one's still working just fine. It's currently giving me boot and root right now. Don't you die on me.
It's like, I still don't like you very much. See, don't die. I wasn't giving you praise. Man, even the cheap ones. That's what I'm saying. It's usually the controller. The MLC or whatever you have for it's several gigabytes a day of writes, that stuff, for years. So, yeah.
Yeah, and nowadays the cheap ones like the 750 Evo, the 850 Evo, the OCZ Trions, the those cheapo A-Data ones, those are rated. The flash is rated for 5 petabytes.
Was it TLC,
the
MLC?
Yeah. The Samsung ones are TLC. The Toshiba OCZ ones, I don't think they're doing TLC yet, but they're coming out with their own version of 3D NAND now, so that's not even relevant. The A-Data ones, I honestly don't know.
Right. I did pick these up. I told everyone about them Saturday. Steve, other Steve, as I call him, OG Steve, Stephen McLaughlin, from Door to Door Geek. He was like, "Hey man, try these for some extra lighting," because I was going to buy some.
Oh yeah, you
panels.
didn't send me the link for that.
Yeah, and you didn't find a replacement co-host until today, so someone needs to shut the hell up, don't they?
But I did. I forgot, but I did.
But I picked these up. This is just a generic USB hub I had laying around. But you can get a 10-pack of these. 3 LEDs, like burn retina LEDs, and non-powered USB hub. You can run 3 of these. I mean, if it was powered, I could run all 10 of them. £2. That's all they cost. And I'm going to be using those for some additional. I'm going to kind of like edge light the green screen once we start playing around with some crazier stuff.
Sticky thing at the back that you could just tape it to a wall, or do you have to get that?
Please, son. I've been to Mauser. I've already ordered individual USB plugs and the wiring, the heat shrink. I'm going to make a harness for this thing to wrap around.
No, I'm just asking for myself, so I can, get like some light adhesive to put it.
It's going to take me like a solid week to come up with plausible lies to tell you to lead you in the wrong direction, so you'll at least try it.
Just send me the link to the things, okay?
Like, this didn't work at all. Like, of course it didn't. I don't think they have any. RC light.
RC light? RC car light.
RC light. Let's see if I can hack this. USB LED. There we go. Hacked it.
Okay.
Elite skills. Let's put that in chat realm. Bloop. If anyone's buying that, make sure you use our UK. They're $4.99. All right, plus free shipping for 10-pack.
Yeah.
And they don't be fooled. One of these things will jack you up. 3 of them. Don't look into the sun, kids. So that's the thing. All right, man.
I do have a powered 7-port hub.
Well, that is what Steve uses. Jill and Steve, let's just keep using the word Steve, were like so wicked kind to pick us up these 120 LED light panels, which are awesome. Those are very useful. These are, he uses two like 12-port USB hubs powered for that, because these are very directional. I think I'm going to use these in addition to light things up, because it's either that or buy a larger light panel for a third light, but I can get away with using these, and they're so cheap. So, Steve, yes, I saw the 3 LED light mini LEDs when I first plugged this in for a good 45 seconds.
Look to a wall. Wait, that wall is dark. Where are there 3 dots?
It's like, wait, man, everything's got a lot of spots on it all of a sudden, which I've to make you happy, Steve, which I've seen 120 of those little dots too, of plugging these in and just like derping around getting things set up and just happen to be looking right at it, and it's like, psst, and I was like, all right, let me just go find it. All right, there's a corner. All right, I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes. We'll be cool. It's the thing. All right. Oh, and tomorrow we're doing Left for Brad, because Jordan has humming in his stream, so we've ordered him a dehummifier-tron, which won't be here until next week, because Canada. And, man, you can get him for like 15 quid here, 30 Canadian, which was good for us, because with your support, with Patreon, we were able to convert like $22 into 30 Canadian. So that worked in our favor. So it's going to be an open invitational. Whoever shows up, I'll make a post on Patreon after I get this show produced and out today. But it's open to all patrons that want to join us for Left for Brad. We're going to be recording an episode of that, so we're going to have 2 available slots. And it will definitely be a thing. We might play some us versus them, the monsters versus humans. And a little bit after that, you don't necessarily need a microphone to join in. You definitely don't need a camera, because we're going to be
playing a game.
Right. It's probably going to be somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30 Eastern Time. Just giving everyone watching the live stream at this point a heads up that post to be coming later today. So I think that is a good time to close it down.
Yeah. I would say so. It's been fun, and I do hope, well, not next week, but 2 weeks from now, I will have fixed internet. So it won't be much better than this, but at least it will be unlimited.
And don't worry, Theresa May will impose bandwidth caps nationwide.
You better not. You hear me? Theresa, you hear me?
It'll be great, man. All right.
All right.
Cheers, everyone.